gorgeous. Welcome back to my channel. Hello if you're new. If you're new, it means so much if you click that subscribe button. I do post on my channel every single Tuesday and Thursday. But as you can tell, today I'm gonna be sharing 10 things I wish I knew before wedding planning. So just last year, I went ahead and got married. I do have my wedding video up, so I will link that above and have it down below. But I did do a different route for my wedding. I did have a destination wedding. I also did something very small and intimate here before going to my destination wedding, which was in Santorini, Greece, and it was an absolute dream. So if you guys want me to do a video around destination weddings and everything I did, or if you have questions about how to do it, or like whatever question you pretty much have when it comes to that, let me know by leaving a comment down below. But I wanted to share with you 10 things I wish I knew before going into wedding planning. So like I said, I did go ahead and have a destination wedding, but to be honest, it was so up in the air. I didn't have that in mind right away. I thought I was just gonna do the typical wedding here where I live in Toronto. However, so many things changed because of the pandemic and it was just a mess. So that's kind of what led me to having just a small intimate destination wedding. With that being said, the first tip is to be realistic and open about your finances. Your budget can get out of control very quickly. And there's so many unrealistic standards on social media. Like you see people's weddings and they're so beautiful. And then when it's your time to get married, you want the exact same look with all the flowers and for it to be so extravagant, and then you go find out the price tag for it and it's crazy how much those weddings that you see on social media cost, and it can cost an arm and a leg. So you really want to try and sit down with your partner and just have a discussion about what you want your budget to roughly be around and what you're willing to maybe go over if you have to. And this is the time to also talk to your family members. Some family members will help with the wedding, of course. You really just want to kind of cut to the chase and figure your finances out completely to see where you're at, see what you've saved so far, what you will be able to save during your engagement. And there's so many things to try and fit your budget by making those cuts, maybe having a longer engagement so you can save up a bit more. It's important to just really stick to a budget and don't go over your budget or over that line that you said you won't go over, because trust me, in the long run, you will thank yourself. It is one day. And it is a magical, beautiful day, but a lot of the times we tend to just kind of go overboard, and then in the end, we may have those regrets. And that's going to lead me to number 2, which is to deal with the big things first. So now that you discussed your finances and your budget and all that, something that I realized that you need to do pronto is just figure out the big things, including figuring out your venue to see if you even can get the date that you want for the venue you want. And as well as go wedding dress shopping. It's important to make sure that you're not saving that for last minute, because shipping times for wedding dresses can take months. And also there's alterations that you have to keep in mind and all of that, as well as booking those photographers, your videographer, even hair and makeup, or even flowers, because that can go real quickly. You want to make sure that you book the big things first and then see what leftover you have budget for more the smaller things for a wedding. Because I did do a destination wedding, the first thing I did was I booked a wedding planner. In Santorini, Greece, you actually have to book a wedding planner, and honestly, it's so convenient, and the pricing for a wedding planner in Santorini, Greece was actually really good compared to, I know here it's a lot more in Toronto. But I booked that right away. I researched a bunch of wedding planners, picked the one I loved, and then we went ahead and booked our venue first. And then the photographer, videographer, and I, of course, went dress shopping, and we booked the more bigger things way far in advance before doing like the little smaller things. Number 3 is you don't need to spend money on the frivolous things. So this is just those like small, like unnecessary things. You really don't need that like ice sculpture, photo booth, or crazy like floral wall or champagne wall, or even extravagant favors. If that doesn't fit your budget, don't stretch yourself out too thin. And I feel like we tend to go a little bit overboard and we can go crazy with it and we just want everything. But in the end of the day, those are the things you're gonna look back at. Those are also the things that people, yes, aren't going to look back at and really remember much. It's really more about the vibe. It's about the food. Was there an open bar? Was there good music? That is what people are going to remember. They're not gonna remember all these little unnecessary things that are going to pull you so much out of budget, and you're just gonna be in so much debt from that one wedding day. I definitely had to cut back on things that I may have wanted, but I knew it was just putting me way over my budget. And in the end of the day, I'm so thankful I didn't, because there are so many things where you look back and you're like, this was just so unnecessary, or would have been so unnecessary. And of course, you just want more and more. And I had a problem with that. I had to really ask myself, do I really need this? Is this gonna make a huge difference? And I had to cut back on a few things that I wanted. But in the end of the day, I love how everything turned out, and I'm happy I went that way. And that leads me to number 4, which is just to DIY or bring your own things to make costs more affordable. So especially for those little decor pieces, if you go with a company and rent it, for example, it can be so crazy, the prices. If you have like name tags and you wanna have name tags all out, DIY those yourself, because if you go with another company, it is so expensive and so unnecessary. You can even DIY table numbers for super affordable. Just buy things off Amazon or Etsy, or even IKEA has a bunch of cool stuff. Also, another thing that I actually did was buy a bunch of candles and like tea lit, those crystal tea lit holders from IKEA. They're so affordable. Each tea lit holder was like 99 cents, and it comes with a bunch of candles. And they have so many stunning candles that I know are being used at weddings, and it's just so much more affordable than getting it through a company or getting it through like a wedding planning service. So it's important to kind of see where you can save and kind of DIY what you can. Another great thing is just to DIY your own signage. So if you want like those welcome signs or like those mirrored welcome signs, you can DIY those for super affordable. Finding a mirror at IKEA, or going on Amazon, or even going on Winners and Home Sense and Marshalls. They actually have a ton of little wedding things that you can pick up there that are so much more affordable. I actually saw a wedding welcome sign there that was super cheap. So it's good to like kind of go around and see where you can save and see where you can DIY little things to make also your wedding more unique and more to your style. Number 5, you're going to piss and annoy people off. A lot of drama came out of my engagement, unfortunately. It was so left field and just like I did not see it coming. But for some reason, when you get engaged, sometimes, I know this happened for me and I've heard some other people's experiences, people just sometimes aren't happy for you either. That's one thing I realized, is there was some people in my life that I got engaged and they didn't care or didn't want to be involved or weren't happy. Really see who your true friends and family are when you get engaged, that's for sure. People are gonna get upset over the silliest things, and you're going to annoy people because everyone has their own opinion and people aren't scared to voice it. But one thing that you have to remember, it is your day with you and your partner. So do what you want and try to really minimize those voices. Be selfish, because this is your day and you both are paying for this day, and you shouldn't let anyone dull that and make you feel not good enough. If you also have people in your wedding party or like just friends or family that are making you not feel special during that time, or they don't even care, those are not the people that you want in your life. Let me tell you, this is the happiest time in your life, and you want your friends and family to be supportive and happy and just like so excited to go through that journey with you, because it's a big milestone and it's something that you always are going to remember. Do the things that you wanna do, because like I said, people are gonna have their own opinions for even like the way your wedding is, the way that you wanna do it, or your wedding dress, or whatever the case may be. Do what you wanna do and do what you love. So really take that in mind. Don't let someone else run the show, because it is your day. Number 6 is video is just as important as photos, if not more. I personally knew that I wanted to have a good videographer. I knew I wanted to have my night captured in my day, and I wanted to have that for memories, of course, because I am such a big video person. Of course, I've been on YouTube for 10 plus years, so I love a good video, and that is something that I knew I wanted to have a bigger budget for, was photography and videography, because I know that I'm gonna look back at those memories. I know I'm gonna want photos to print out, and I also just wanna relive the moment by having a good videographer that's gonna capture the day the way it was. And I fell in love with my video that I got. I was so happy, and I'm so happy that you really research into your videographer and photographer so that you're happy with the service. And honestly, videos are so amazing because it allows you to relive that moment with your partner, especially when things start to fade and you don't remember all the details. By watching a video, it's just so much, it brings it back to life. It brings you back into that moment like it was yesterday. Number 7 is don't forget to eat. So on my wedding, I made it a point to make sure that I actually ate a hearty breakfast, and I drank my water. I had oatmeal, I remember, and I wanted to just be full and satisfied. Of course, when you wake up, you don't want to be all bloated, and you're also just so nervous. Sometimes you just don't want to eat, but it's important to eat because when I'm like really hungry or dehydrated, I bloat a ton. So I knew it was important to eat breakfast because I knew it was gonna be a very busy day. And it's important to just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. It's great to also have snacks that are like bite-sized so that it's not messy, and then on the go, if you're hungry, you could just keep up. But it's important, especially if you're gonna also be drinking on your night. You don't wanna be on an empty stomach. You don't wanna feel like faintish. You wanna also make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And I know that it's such a exhilarating, adrenaline rush day, but also nerve-wracking. Eating, I feel like, is a lot of people skip because of that, but trust me, do not skip this. Number 8 is to try to carve out alone time with your spouse. So something I made sure to actually really do, because I heard this from other people, is to really try to take in the moment, because the day can go by so fast. It could be like a blur and you don't really remember anything, and it's just, you plan so long for one day, and then that day is gone in like a second. Something that really is great to do is just take time alone with your spouse, whether that's 20 minutes, and just really both take in the moment and look around and take it in. And for my wedding, especially when I was in my Santorini, Greece, I just remember looking out at the view and just looking at everything and taking it in, because it just felt so surreal the entire day. That always was my dream as a little girl when I was in high school. I always dreamed to get married there, but I never thought it would ever be a possibility. So I really just knew I wanted to soak in the moment because, like I said, it's so go, go, go. There always was something to do. And especially if you're having a big wedding and you have so many guests and you feel like you have to say hello to everyone, it can go by so quickly, and then you might like regret not really taking in the moment. So just take a moment to just be by yourself with your spouse and just soak it all in and like look around and take everything in. Number 9 is to write thank you notes immediately after your wedding. This is something great to do right after so that you don't forget or you don't keep procrastinating and make it go longer and longer. Thank your guests for their support and generosity, and that's always something sweet and nice to do. And that leads me to number 10, which is to enjoy the planning and have fun. Wedding planning can be so stressful. I definitely have to say I'm not a wedding planner, by no means. That stressed the crap out of me. It stressed also my other best friends so much. And some people are just, I feel like, born with it and love it and great. It's so good for them, but like, it was just not for me. But one thing I did have to say is it's gonna go by quickly. Once it's done, it's done. You don't have to plan anymore. The next day after the wedding, no more planning. So really just take in the moment, soak it all in, have fun with it. Try to also make your planning long enough so that you're not so stressed, so it's so short. Like if you have to get everything done super quick, that's gonna make you stress. So try and give yourself enough time. Also the day of, enjoy yourself, have fun. You spend so much time and money on this one day, and so many people I hear just like don't take it in or like don't enjoy it because it was just so much going on. But really try to have fun. You did not just spend a year or more planning a wedding and putting so much of your money into it to not enjoy it. So just have fun. Do things that are gonna make you feel more at ease and not so stressed, and just try to enjoy the little moments and just try to take everything in, like I said. But those are the 10 things I wish I knew before wedding planning. Sometimes it can be really overwhelming wedding planning. There's a lot going on, especially when you do have other responsibilities like a full-time job. But it's also worth it in the end because it was seriously the most magical, amazing, beautiful day in my life. I had such a great time at my church ceremony and as well as my wedding destination. Honestly, wish I could relive it like a million times. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. I do post on my channel every single Tuesday and Thursday. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye!